Okay, let's go ahead, excuse me, and jump into our regular class. So, we're going to work on introducing some basic stand-up boxing stuff over the next couple weeks. So I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of fun stuff to play around with that. But first, I wanted to show you guys this really fun exercise that relates to what we were working on last week with this thing that I've called hip turnovers, and instructor Alex is calling it like a double helix twist. So let's review that really quick, and then we'll see how that relates to boxing, and I'll tell you a fun story that happened to me over the weekend too. So if you remember that exercise, you're picking your toes up, so they're facing up. Your other toes are facing forward, and you're going to turn your hips over this way, and that's going to make these toes point down and those toes point backwards. Let's try a few of those. So remember, the point of this is that if you watch where my foot is right now, after I do the turnover, my foot moves forward about a foot. So that gives you a lot of extra hip drive and power in a lot of your kicks. So toes up, turn over, reset. Toes up, turn over, reset. Up, twist. Nice job. Up, twist. One more on that side. Up, twist. And we'll switch. Try the other side. Toes up, twist. Toes up, twist. Up, twist. Up, twist. One more. Up, and twist. Good job. All right. So, over the weekend, I walked into my garage and I heard a fly buzzing. I thought, that sounds really loud. What's going on? So I went over and I found it, and it was stuck in a spider web. But it wasn't just any spider web. It was a big daddy long legs with really long legs. And it was using its front 6 legs to hold on to its web. It was using its back 2 legs to pull silk out. And it was going like this. What do you think it was doing? It was wrapping the fly in silk. And that reminded me of an exercise that I've done in other martial arts called silk weaving, where you're doing the same thing that spider is doing, that same kind of motions. So we're going to try one of those today because it relates to the exercise that we just did. So let's just jump into it, and I'll explain it as we go. So find your triangle stance like this, and then turn your feet a little bit sideways so you're kind of in a front stance. Bend your front leg a little more than your back leg. And then you're going to take your hand and put it right here in front of your face. Take your other hand and just put your fingers on your wrist. So we're just going to glue those together for now so you have one hand that's right here in front of you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn your hips and have your hand stay in front of your hips. So whichever way my hips go, my hand goes that way. Try that. Good. And then have your hand go up and down, and it stays in front of your hips as well. So now we're going to have our hand up here with our hips forward and our hand in front. We're going to turn backwards, and then we're going to flip our hand over and move it down. And then we're going to connect it to our center again and push it back forward and lift. So we're doing a wipe back, a scoop forward, and a wipe back again. So see how that's kind of the same circle motion that that spider was making, reeling silk around a fly. So the idea here is that I'm not just moving my hand, right? I'm keeping my hand in front of my hips. So it's almost like there's a pole that's attached to my belt. It tells my hand where to go. And I'm just moving like that. So let's try it again. Both hands up. Move your hips back. Scoop. Move your hips forward. Lift. Wipe. Scoop. Lift. Wipe. Scoop. So the idea is that you're moving your whole body in one shape. Let's try the other hand a little bit. So turn your toes, face the other side. Other hand up. Second hand on your wrist. And wipe back. Scoop, lift, wipe, scoop, lift, wipe. Nice job. So if we were taking our time, we would spend a really long time practicing this one because there's a lot of subtlety to it. But we're going to go ahead and crash course on forward, and I'm going to show you guys something else you can do with your other hand. So while this hand is going this way and wiping, you're going to take your other hand and do a scoop in the other direction. So watch close. One hand is up, one hand is down. So this one's going to wipe, and this one's going to scoop at the same time. So I go wipe and scoop as I turn this way, and then my hands are going to switch. So the one that was on top is going to go to the bottom. The one that was on bottom is going to go to the top. And then I'm going to wipe and scoop the other way. And switch, wipe and scoop, switch, wipe and scoop. So I'm turning my hips every time I switch sides. And this is an exercise called cloud hands that relates to kind of sort of every movement you're ever going to do in martial arts. Can be traced back to this one. So another motion that we do that's similar to this is our horseback riding stance punches. You guys see some similarities there. So this one goes forward and backwards a lot more, but it's kind of the same motion. So if I switch cloud hands quick, it starts to look more like traditional punches. Yeah, this is really confusing to follow along with, I know. So all of that is the same exact motion as the drill we just did, where you're turning your hips over and using that turn to turn your feet. So except my hips and my feet turned into my shoulders and my hands. So let's try it a little different. So pretend there's two doorknobs in front of you, and you're going to grab both of the doorknobs, and you have to turn them both the same direction. So are they going to turn easier if I just use my hands like this? Or are they going to turn better if I wind up my shoulders and go and crank both of them? So I'm using my shoulders to power that turn, which is making my hands stronger. And then if I also use my elbows and project forward, then I have like three different kinds of power. I have power coming from my arm, I have power coming from my shoulder, and I have power coming from my twist. So everything we do, the mechanics are all related from the bottom to the top. It's all the same stuff. So now let's tie that into some super basic kickboxing stand-up punchy stuff. So when we do kicking stance, which way do our toes face? They face sideways, right? We're going to work on boxing stance a little bit more the next coming weeks. So when you do boxing stance, your toes go forward and your belt goes forward too. So you don't want your belt sideways. You want your belt forward and your toes forward and some width between your feet. That's different than what we usually do. So now we're going to do our traditional punches, but we're going to think about keeping our hands up in a boxing guard the whole time. So you get to do that same type of coil, it's just a little bit smaller. So I wanted to show you guys the big version of it so that you'd have an idea of how that motion is still in the boxing punches. It's just a little bit smaller and harder to recognize. So let's try some jabs and crosses. Ready, hands up. The other rule here is when I punch with my left, I have to move my left foot forward. So I'm going to go step, punch, and then right side step, punch. And back up. Step and punch, boom, same time. Step and punch. Good. And jab, cross. Jab, cross. Reset. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. So anytime something goes forward, anytime this hand goes forward, the other hand is pulling back a little bit, just like how we do in our traditional punches. And then once this hand is out, this one's going to come back as this leg and this hand go forward. Try a few more. Ready? Boxing stance. And jab. Cross. Reset. 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 And let's switch feet. Try the other side. So other foot in the front. Both toes still facing forward. Hands up. And now your other hand is your jab. Ready, step forward, jab, and cross. Reset, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Two more, jab, cross, and jab, cross. Nice work. All right, so that's a quick little intro to some boxing basics and an idea of how we can relate our core kicking mechanics to striking with your shoulders as well. All right, nice job, everyone.
All right, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to work on some more of our side kicks, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over back kicks with everybody. I think everybody could learn how to do a back kick. So let's just get in our kicking stance, just facing forward like this. And again, for side kick, we are turning our knee across our body, so we're having our knee come up and turn over and then extend out and then down. All right, so what I want us to do when we're doing this, try not to swing your leg like that. I just kind of did that before, where I brought my leg around like that. See if you can bring it up, turn over, and then extend out. The more flexibility you get, you'll be able to go down more to make your body like a T, and that takes time to get the balance on. So for now, see if you can do it staying upright, but if you feel more comfortable, see if you can go lower and go higher, okay? That's something that you can practice doing. It's getting used to that balance. So let's start by doing, let's do 2 side kicks, and then let's slide back twice to where we were, and let's do it again. Or step back twice. Ready? And go. So side kick, down, and side kick. Good. Step back. Let's do it again. And side kick, down, side kick, down. Good. Again, when you're still doing this, you should still look forward. All right? Try not to look off backwards. All right? So, side kick, down, and side kick, down. Good again. With this kick, you are hitting with the bottom part of your foot, more of the side and bottom. All right, so make sure you're not just hitting with your toes or just doing one of these, where I see a lot of kids try to do side kicks, they just do this. And kind of like make it almost looks like a round kick. So make sure you pull your toes back towards your shins and you extend out. Perry, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to add another way to think about it. A lot of people, when they do the side kicks, I see a lot of people turning it more into a round kick. Bring their knee up and then they kick out.
Yeah.
So maybe the first part right. People might do the first part right, bringing, coming across. I'll have to figure out how this gets done. First part might be bringing up like this, so you're coming across. But then instead of coming straight out, they turn it into a round kick from there and kick out that way. And the way I like to think about it is think about once you got in this up position here, it's not your toe you're watching, it's your heel you're watching. And you want your heel to make a perfectly straight line out from your body. And it's a different geometry, a different movement than the round kick. But concentrate on your heel, making a straight line out from your body. That's the trick that works for me.
That's all good advice. Again, just a reminder what he was saying. It's you're turning your body over. A lot of people have the instinct just because they're balancing. They want to get the kick done with. They just want to go and do that kick really quickly. But what Dr. Perry is saying is you need to work on pausing there and extending and making that line straight so that you're hitting with your heel, but also the side part of your foot, okay? So when you're doing this, try to break it up into steps. Have your knee come up, you turn over. Once your knee is up like this, just remember you need to pull your toes back and you're pushing, all right? If you want, you can try to do that motion very slowly. You could have your knee up and extend out and then bring it back. Again, I do it sometimes and I have bad balance and I fall over. So again, you're bringing your knee up, turning over, and it's in its position. Once it's in its position, then you extend and bend and bring it back. Boom, just like that, okay? So think about, the more you control that motion of it coming up and kicking out, the stronger your leg and thigh and butt muscles, hip flexors will be, but then the easier this kick will be. Because think of it, it's almost like a spring, right? So you come up and you spring out, spring in. Okay, try it the other side, ready, and go. Around, kick out, down. Really try controlling it. So up, turn, extend, bend, down. And then you go, boom, once you get it together. So around, down. And same thing, when Instructor Owen last week was talking about that double helix twist, where how when we do a round kick, our hip and foot all turn over like that. While that's happening, our foot is pivoting like that. While that's happening, our shoulders and body is also turning. This twist pop gives you a lot of power in that side kick. So instead of just doing this, it's that. And the good thing about a side kick is that the side kick is almost like my first line of defense. So if someone's coming at me and I just bring my foot up and go to their shin, they're immediately going to buckle. All right? So this is a really good kick for me. Whenever I spar, someone comes up and does like a fast kick or something, I just put my foot up for a side kick, and I could either go to the head or I could go at the side of the body. What happens when you get kicked in the side of the body? Your body does this. If you get kicked in the shins, your shins do that. If you get hit in the head, your head does this. You can still kick them. But it's a first line of defense. It's a really important kick for either a quick side kick or a quick cut kick, or a powerful pushing kick. All right? So how are we all feeling with that? Let's do 10 each side. So everybody on your own, let's do 10. Let's really focus on control and having that twist with that kick. Boom. Okay? Good. And again, for the twist and kick, don't just let your leg come out. Let me see you really push it out. All right? Control it, extend it. Good. Good, everybody. All right, I'm seeing some people when they're doing this kick, even me, I'm doing this too. What do you see that's wrong right now? Does anybody know? When I have my hand, okay, if I have my hands up, what's wrong here? So when I'm doing this, my body is turned over. I'm leaning over to keep my balance. I need to try to fight that urge and keep my back straight. All right? If I lean over and do this, I'm going to lean and kick out and lean over. All right? So again, think of it. You're keeping your balance. If you're leaning forward too much because you're not as flexible, your body's naturally going to want to go that way. All right? So around, down. See, I'm still leaning a little bit. That's because I have bad hip flexors and hips. 1. Yeah, that's better. I didn't fall. And 2. Because even when you do the T and you go lower, you still have to be straight and in line like this. All right? Because if you're leaning forward and go this way, here, 1 second, let me see. If I do this and lean forward, I fall down naturally. So again, keeping your center point of gravity all in line. That's the difficult thing. All right, ready and go. 10 each side on your own. And see, I'm still leaning.
Luke, are you doing a push kick or a round kick? It's looking more like you're doing a round snap with your foot. It's hard to tell.
Better. Here, let's really try this, everybody. I want everyone to try emphasizing that motion. So when you bring your leg across, emphasize, hold your foot out there sideways, and then bring it down. So go, boom, then down.
Can you go slow, Luca, so I can see you? I think you're doing a round kick.
That's better. That's better. Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
Boom.
See if you can extend all the way, get your knees straight. And then hold it there for a sec, like Mr. Carlos was saying. There you go.
Better. Feel the difference? Yeah, there you go. So the extension at the end is very much the key point. If you're not extending, then you're not projecting energy out past your body. It's all getting stuck inside your leg, and then it's not gonna hurt when you kick me.
Very true.
There you go, nice. Much better, Luca.
All right. How does everyone feel on that kick for now? Good? All right, we're gonna try to do a new kick. We're gonna do a new kick. I think since everybody here is quite receptive and smart, I'm gonna do this one, all right? So, kick your stance loud, key up. Hup! What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing a back kick, everybody. We're doing back kicks, good old back kicks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the steps. I'm gonna face it this way, and then I'm gonna face it this way. So watch what I'm doing, okay? I'm in my kicking stance. You're looking forward, but you turn your body behind you. Like this. Everyone see my feet? Look, my feet pivot. I turn this way, I step back, and then I turn. Okay? So this is how we do our turns. And this is the footwork for a back kick, okay? So everybody try this. You're gonna go turn, step, turn. Okay, so you're turning, your back is turning towards the camera. It's almost like you're getting that shoulder, your front shoulder's coming in, like this. Like I'm flashing my back. So ready? You go turn, step, turn. All right? So let's try that. So again, in steps, 1, towards the back. 2, step back. 3, keep turning that way. And then 4, look forward. All right? So all together. 1, 2, 3. All right? Let's try that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And if you go again, you're doing it on the other side. So my other foot. 1, 2, 3. All right? Try it again. Turn, step, turn. And turn, step, turn. Okay?
You're going to talk about that movement too, or later?
Which movement?
Head movement.
Head movement? I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to get the groundwork first, and then I'm going to add in looking at your target and not looking away. All right? So again, I'm facing the camera. This is what it looks like. Ready? Turn towards the back, step back, turn back towards the front, and you're in your kicking stance. So again, I'm going to do it again. Now, see, look, my feet are already switched, so I can do the other side. Turn, step back, turn. Okay? So try it. See if you can do 2 at a time. So 1, 2, 3, and then again. 1, 2, 3. Try that again. I'm going to do it facing the other side so you can see me do it like I'm doing it with you. I'm facing forward. I turn towards the back. I step back. I turn. I do it again. I turn to the back. I step back. I turn. Let me see it, everybody. Let me see how you're doing. Good, Ella. Good, Peggy. Keep going. Keep turning that way. There you go. Excellent. Luca, Nina, how you doing? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, everybody. Now, next step. I'm going to go to the next step. So you're keeping your hands up. The important thing is that when we do a kick, we can't look away. Why? Because showing your back is a very bad thing. If you show your back for a second, that might give somebody an opening to hit you. But if your opponent or the other person that you're fighting knows how to time it, they can potentially hit you. So this is a risky kick. It can be, but it could also, if you time it out right, be an absolutely devastating kick. So before we get into the kicking part, everybody's going to have their hands up. You're going to do the same steps we just did. You're doing the same exact stepping we just did. You're going to turn towards the back, but you're keeping your eyes focused on your opponent. And then what you do is from here, I'm looking, I step back towards them, I spin my head back around. Okay? So now I'm just doing the same step I did. Step, step back, turn, but now I'm having my head stay on my opponent until that last second when I need to spin back around. So watch. Turn, step, turn. Right? Turn, step, turn. Just like that. All right? So now think of it just, if it's confusing to you, do the exact same steps you're doing before, but now see if you can glue your head looking in one direction. Turn, step, until the last second when you need to turn back around. Good. Good job, Peggy. Ready? So, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? And again, for this, you have to keep it narrow. If you do it like this, you're letting your head move your body, and your head is leading. You're not supposed to let your head lead. Your body leads. Turn, go. Turn, go. The head follows, okay? Ooh, I almost fell over there. I spun. 1. Okay? So now, if you want to try it a little faster, try putting them both together. 1, 2. We'll try it again. Turn, step, turn. Turn, step, turn. Then I do it together. Turn, step, turn. And turn, step, turn. I'm just whipping my head. There you go. Very good, everybody. Cool. How's everybody feeling on the footwork to that? Are you all good? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, cool. Now we are incorporating the kick. So we're adding a step to our entire motion. So all together, watch. You turn, you step back, you turn, and that's the whole motion. Now that we're adding the kick, you do this. You turn, then you pick up your now front leg, which is your back leg. See, it's my back leg still. I pick it up, and then when I do that turn, when I was doing it before, I would go step, I would step back. That step back is now a kick. And then you turn last second. So all together, it's like this, everybody. You, hands up, turn, knee up, kick and turn your head at the same time. Okay? So all together, turn, knee comes up, turn, kick, and turn back around. Yeah, good job. So, again, if you want to slow it down in more steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I guess that's more 5. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 5, 6, turn. Okay? Try it in 6 steps. Let's try it in 6 steps. Ready? And go. Turn towards the back. We don't need to focus on keeping our head focused on the target right now. That is something you add once you get the kick. But I'm just telling you that's what you're going to have to do. So turn towards the back. Knee comes up. Lean forward, extend back. Put it down like you're walking. Then turn your body, turn your head, face the front again. You're all going the same way. So I'm going to do it facing you this time. Turn towards the back. Knee comes up. I lean forward, I extend and kick like it was a step. I put it down. I turn. My hands are up. Okay? I'm going to do it facing this way now. Ready and go. I turn towards the back. My knee comes up. It extends out. It goes down like I was stepping. I turn towards the front, and that is the kick. That is the back kick. Okay? So let's try doing it together now faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it's 5 steps, maybe it's 6. I'm breaking it down a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So now that you're putting it together, turn, up, kick, down. Have your head stay on target. So you come up, or when you turn and do that motion, whip your head over your shoulder and look over your shoulder like this. So you're gonna go, you turn your body, your knee comes up, you look over the other side like this. All right? So I'm turning my head to begin with. 1. All right? So when I do that turn, I bring my knee up, I'm already turning my head so I don't have to have it whip around, okay? So, boom, like that. So kicking stance, turn towards the back, knee up, look over your shoulder. Good. Now let's do that again before we kick. We're gonna do that a couple more times before we kick. Hands up, turn, knee up, look over shoulder. Good. Let's do it again. Turn, knee up, look over shoulder. Think of it like a horse. They do that horse kick that they do that is absolutely devastating. It's kind of the same thing. So turn, knee up, look over shoulder, just like that. Now let's add that kick into it. So now it's turn, knee up, look over the shoulder, extend out, put it down and look forward where you're kicking. Okay? So let's try that one more time. I'm gonna do it diagonally. Turn, knee up, look over shoulder. And now I'm looking where my kick goes. Extend, hands up. Good, now I'm doing the other side. So I turn, knee up, look over that shoulder where my knee is up, extend, and look that way. Okay? And again, turn, knee up, extend, down. I'm gonna do it facing this way now. Turn, knee up, look over shoulder, extend, and down. Turn over the shoulder, extend, down. All right? How does everybody feel with the back kick? A little okay? Cool. Keep working on it. Start working on the steps of that. Those steps are very important. Yes, Instructor Perry.
Yeah, comment on here. So there's a bit of a distinction in here between this and more of a hook kick.
Yeah.
So for this kind of kick, you really want to kick pretty much straight back, like that. You might turn over a little bit. So what you want to avoid is this kind of kick. It's not a sideways kick, it's a straight back kick. And so it's really important. It's really hard not to do that, by the way, but it's really important to turn your shoulders, to not turn your shoulders all the way like this. You want to finish your kick with your shoulders backwards, and then after you kick, you come around. And that's just super hard to do.
Yeah. One thing too is when we do this drill in class, I usually have giant pillars up on either side because when people do this naturally, when they turn around and bring their knee up, they want to buck it out like this because it's more comfortable. And that is like what Instructor Perry's saying. It sets you more up for doing something like a hook kick, okay? And that's called a spin hook kick or a snap kick, and that's also a fun kick. But we're not doing that one. We're doing back kick, which means we're coming straight into the body. So when you're doing this, try to fight the urge of having your leg come up and buck out here. Just like how you do round kicks, bring your knee up and turn over and snap. Same thing with the back kick. You turn, it comes up, it should be in really close. Because think of it like how we were doing strikes. If I come out here and do this, you could predict something's gonna happen. But if you have something in really close, you can't really predict those strikes. Perfect example is Wing Chun. Wing Chun has very strong strikes that are coming in the center, and it's harder to realize what's happening because it's all in this area, you can't really tell what's happening, but then they're doing just so much. But if your body's out wide, it's going to be more predictable. So when you're doing this back kick, see if you can do it while keeping your knees almost touching each other. Like that. So you're going boom and back. And boom and back. I'm not coming out and doing this. Okay? Yes, one more thing.
But just to add to that slightly, I mean, there's different purposes. If you're doing a back kick, it's for striking your opponent with all of your body weight, like, you know, throwing a battering ram against a concrete wall. If you're doing the hook kick, if you're doing the hook kick, it's much better if you're to get, you know, if you're going for somebody's head or probably most likely head. You're not going to do much damage to the torso hook kick probably, but the back kick will. And
that's totally true.
For different purposes.
That's totally true. Think of it like a battering ram. That's a really good way of thinking it. A back kick, for a battering ram, it needs to be straight on force. A hook kick is more of a swipe, all right? So for the back kick, we want to come straight out and hit them dead on. If it comes out to the side, it's more of a swiping motion. And we want to eliminate the swiping motion because that's a different kick entirely. So the back kick needs to be very, boom, poppy, like that. It can't be swinging around like this or your hip doing any of this kind of thing. All right, that's a totally different kick or it's bad form, but something you can start practicing on, doing it in steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so keeping it in. Practice that. I'm going to turn you over to Instructor Owen. Thank you so much for joining me today and learning back kick and going over our side kicks. Thanks, guys.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our meditation. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We did this once before, I think, very briefly. So we're going to kind of tie our meditation into this cloud hands motion that we were working on building towards. So how we're going to do that is we're going to imagine a big ball of a rock about this big sitting down in the middle of our hips. So it's actually inside of our body. We're just going to imagine that it's sitting there at our center of gravity, and we're going to use our breath to crank it and turn it around in circles. So we're going to turn it this way. So like the surface of the ball would be turning around me here, this way. And then when I stop breathing, I'm going to make the ball stop and turn the other way. So when I breathe in, it's going to go. And when I breathe out, it's going to go the other way. So just imagine a ball of rock in your center spinning in the direction you're breathing. And if you can, try to count how many seconds you breathe in. So you might count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's try that. Kind of a lot to do with your brain, but that's part of why it works. So let's try it. Stretch your spine up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders down. And start breathing in and spinning that ball. Good job, everyone. So now let's make one little change. We were spinning this way, stopping and spinning this way. Now we're going to try to spin horizontally. So you're going to spin the ball around this way while you're breathing in, then stop. Spin it back this way. Try that one. Stretch your spine up, relax your eyes closed, and spin your ball sideways. Very good job. So just to explain that really briefly, the idea is that these circles and coils that you're making with your hands, when you visualize your center of gravity turning like that, it starts to help explain to your hips how they need to turn to connect to your hands when you make those motions, or when you make an out block or an up block or a down block. It's all the same stuff. So you're trying to connect your center of gravity to whatever technique you're doing, just like instructor Alex was showing you guys today. All right, everyone, excellent job. Thank you very much for meditating with me. Let's go ahead and stand up and bow out. Face the front, chariot, and come on.